Chapter 5 Hot Spring Resort. Chen Hao walked out of the room. His best friends, Yang Hui and Ma Xiaonan, came chasing after him. Why are you like that? The present isn't the most important thing. Ma Xiaonan anxiously explained. Yang Hui added, Chen Hao, don't leave yet. Finish the meal before leaving. If you leave, there is no point for us to stay behind as well. Chen Hao smiled and replied, enjoy yourself here. Yang Hui, Xiaonan, I really have something to do. Believe me, I am not trying to deceive the both of you. Chen Hao was not sure if they believed him. It all came back to the card that his sister gave him. That shopping card, which had a minimum spending of 300,000, unexpectedly got him into trouble again. Despite Yang Hui and Ma Xiaonan's persistence, Chen Hao ultimately still left. That poor dude left. Su Nan mocked once Ma Xiaonan and Yang Hui came back to the room. Yang Hui rebutted, Su Nan, can't you stop bullying him? Stop taking advantage of the fact that he is an easy target. Have you all not bullied him enough? Yang Hui could not stand it anymore. He was asking for trouble. I'm not the one who bought a lousy bag to try and cheat Xiaonan's feelings. I can't believe it was a Hermes collector's edition. This poor dude sure knows how to pick a gift. Zhao Yifan shook her head and gave a bitter smile. Chen Hao was walking on the streets aimlessly after he left. When Chen Hao had no money, all he had dreamed of was being rich. Now that he was rich, he did not develop any noteworthy emotion. On the other hand, he spent 300,000 and did not even get to have a beverage at the party. To make it worse, he was looked down on. Chen Hao was debating if he should look for a place to get a drink. Just then, his phone rang. The caller was his sister, Chen Hao. Chen Hao picked up and said, Sister. Chen Hao, what are you up to? I am not exactly doing anything right now. Then help your sister out. Chen Hao asked, what can I do? You've probably heard of Jinling Commercial Street, right? I invested and developed the street when I visited you 4 years ago. Right now, I need your help to sign the renewal contract on my behalf. I am unable to come over to do so myself. Also, since the development and investment are jointly owned by both of us, it would be the same if you signed it. So go and help me sign the contract. Hello. Chen Hao, did you hear what I just said? Of course, Chen Hao heard what she said. He was just completely stunned and bewildered. Jinling Commercial Street, that was one of the distinguishing features of Jinling City. The commercial street was packed with shops and businesses were booming. At the peak of the commercial street lies a hot spring resort that was built according to the structure of the mountain. The resort was constantly visited by the rich tycoons from Jinling City. Wait, does that mean that the entire stretch of the commercial street is owned by our family? Sister, are you serious? The commercial street is owned by our family? Damn. After speaking to you for so long, you still think I am kidding? I developed it myself. Back then I could not start so many businesses in multiple industries under my name, thus I used your identification. Therefore, you own half of the street. Look for a manager called Li Zhenguo when you arrive at the hot spring villa. I have informed him that you, as the second boss, will sign the contract. Chen Hao was left speechless. Alright, that's all. I still have something going on over here. I will hang up first. Chen Hao hung up the phone. Chen Hao held on to his phone and was in a daze for a long time. Hot Spring Villa was such an exclusive area. In the past, he did not even dare to think about going there, yet, things were different now. Chen Hao ultimately took a deep breath and called for a cab to send him to Jinling Commercial Street. Hot Spring Villa had restaurants, entertainment centers and accommodations all under one roof. It was a villa next to the mountain and below it was the commercial street built along the mountain stretch. Chen Hao gathered himself and walked in. Sir, please stop right there. Just as Chen Hao was about to walk in, he was stopped by a few beautiful receptionists. Sir, did you book a place in a villa? A receptionist looked at Chen Hao and asked. Since they were receptionists, they were used to meeting a lot of big shots, but now, in front of their eyes was Chen Hao, who was dressed in clothes of inferior brands. Although the few receptionists sounded polite, the despised look they had was already very obvious. I did not make a reservation. I am here to look for someone. Chen Hao replied. At the same time, he glanced at the few receptionists and was shocked. No wonder people said that the hot spring resort is a paradise in Jinling City. There were about 5 to 6 receptionists. They looked as if they were fresh graduates from university and they looked elegant. They were like models as they had both great looks and good figures. Looking for someone? Who are you looking for? The few beautiful ladies frowned at the same time upon hearing what Chen Hao said. At this point, their voices had become cold and indifferent. I am looking for Mr. Li Zhenguo. He is the general manager of the commercial street. Of course, Chen Hao noticed their discriminatory looks. However, he still chose to tell the truth. The few beautiful ladies glanced at each other. General Manager Li, they concluded that this poor dude had no idea who General Manager Li was. Did he think that the general manager was someone that one could randomly meet? They were also certain by then that this poor dude was here to check things out. After all, Hot Spring Resort was really too well known. Majority of the population could not enter as they could not afford it. Usually, there would be many people like Chen Hao as well. They took advantage of trying to look for people when they actually wanted to take a look inside. However, there was no way they would be allowed to enter. They were beautiful fresh graduates from college. Therefore, despite the fact that they were ashamed of Chen Hao's appearance, they still kept their polite behavior. Sir, if you wish to meet General Manager Li, you will have to make an appointment. If you do not have an appointment, please leave right now. Chen Hao finally realized that these few receptionists mistook him as someone who was here to take a look around, just as he was considering calling his sister to help notify Li Xinghua about his arrival. He heard someone speaking. Miss Xingyu, what are you all doing? Does Hot Spring Villa allow anyone and everyone into their premises? A young guy who was lavishly dressed with gelled hair walked into the villa. He was holding on to the hand of a flirtatiously dressed woman with heavy makeup. He threw a contemptuous glance at Chen Hao, then smiled at the lead receptionist. Shangtian, I thought you said that this was the most luxurious location in Jinling City. Why is there still someone dressed like this here? The flirtatious-looking woman asked. Some people had characters like that, whereby if they did not taunt people, they would feel like they could not display their capabilities. The lead receptionist, Zhengyu, apologized to him. I am truly sorry, Mr. Li. We will take care of this right away. Li Shangtian smirked. That's great. I am planning to invite a few friends from out of town over later on. Our villa is the symbol of Jinling City. It should not be downgraded. I hope you don't get angry at me for babbling. My father and your general manager Li know each other and even shared a meal together. It was obvious that Li Shangtian had the utmost respect for General Manager Li from his tone. The lady in his arms was practically worshipping Li Shangtian upon realizing that he knew General Manager Li. She didn't know he had such a strong social network and that he even knew General Manager Li, who was such a big shot in Jinling City. Even the group of receptionists next to Zhengyu were secretly flirting with him in hopes of garnering his attention. Zhengyu quickly nodded. Yes, Mr. Li. She then turned around and gave a stern look at Chen Hao. Please leave. Don't hold up our business or I would call security. Fine. I will go and make a phone call. Chen Hao took a deep breath and walked out. He took out his phone while walking out. Damn. This guy sure knows how to pretend and show off. Acting like he is actually a big shot. Li Shangtian sneered. Mr. Li, don't take it too seriously. This kind of issue happens quite often in Hot Spring Villa. Zhengyu smiled apologetically. Li Shangtian nodded and said, Miss Zhengyu, would you do me a favor and come over to have some drinks with us after the arrival of my friends? Let's talk about that later, Mr. Li. Zhengyu gave a reserved smile. Li Shangtian looked suggestively at Zhengyu while nodding his head. He then took his wallet out and walked toward the front desk to check in. The group of beautiful receptionists looked adoringly at Zhengyu and asked, Zhengyu, you know young Master Li? Zhengyu tidied up her hair and proudly replied, of course. Why else did we choose to work here as receptionists right out of graduation? So that we can get to know more rich tycoons like young Master Li. Did you all recognize the flirtatious woman in his arms? She is a second-tier celebrity. Young Master Li's family is involved in real estate and his family's net worth is more than 2 billion, wow. No wonder his father knows the big boss in Jinling Commercial Street, General Manager Li. Never knew he had such high status. The group of receptionists stared at the silhouette of Li Shangtian and they were infatuated with him. Oh, speaking of General Manager Li, he is probably in a meeting with the president of Jinling City as well as the Jinling's Chamber of Commerce. That loser still dared to say he was looking for General Manager Li. This dude is such a joke. Zhengyu scorned. She was smiling and getting ready to go over and make small talk with Li Shangtian. When she lifted her head up, she saw that the poor, loser dude who was chased out had returned. Why did you come back again? Zhengyu could not understand. The group of receptionists also looked at Chen Hao in disdain.